Someone left a comment asking, if you've definitely told people you don't believe in God, how do you backtrack? And I sat staring at that question, mostly because it's the same one that held me back for so long, but it is also the one that when I figured out the answer, everything changed. But here's my honest opinion. You don't backtrack. You can't undo what you said. You can't erase the mockery or the arguments or the superiority. But what you can do is you can stop letting the fear of looking stupid keep you from what's actually true. I'm Brogan, and this is Faith in Progress. Let's start by unpacking the problem. This is what makes it so hard. You feel like a hypocrite, and maybe you are one. I was, and I spent years, actual years, building this identity around not believing. I was the person with the arguments, the one who could dismantle faith in a conversation, and the one who felt superior for not needing God. And now I'm supposed to turn around and tell those people I was wrong, that everything I said with such confidence was actually just a mask. The shame is crushing. But the real fear underneath is it's not just that people will judge you, it's that they'll be right to do so. Right that you've gone soft. Right that you've abandoned reason for comfort. Right that you're just following what someone else believes because it's easier than standing alone. Because you remember what you used to think about Christians. You remember the mockery, and now you're terrified you've become exactly that. Someone who traded intellectual honesty for emotional security. What if I'm wrong? What if they can all see I'm fooling myself? This is my experience, and what actually happened when I started telling people. The reactions were mixed. None of them were outright against me, but there was this lack of respect for the religion itself. Jokes, dismissal, comments that felt light-hearted to them but landed differently for me. And the hard part, I found it almost impossible to tell them to stop. I didn't want to become preachy. I didn't want to be that Christian who can't take a joke. But the thing I realised looking back, the difference between me mocking Christianity and them doing it now, is that I know how ridiculous I sounded. I have the hindsight, and yet even with that awareness, I still struggled to speak up. And what stopped me wasn't just protecting them, it was protecting myself from seeming like I'd changed too much. This is the refrain, and what I had to learn. People respect honesty significantly more than they respect consistency. If you've genuinely changed your mind because you encountered something true, that is not weakness. It's intellectual honesty. Following evidence wherever it leads, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it contradicts everything you said before, that's actual courage. And what shifted everything for me was past skepticism doesn't disqualify me. It gives me credibility. My mockery, my arguments, my superiority, all of it makes me someone who can speak to skeptics in a way others can't. The backtrack isn't erasing your past, it's integrating it. Everything you learned while fighting against God can now be used to help others who are exactly where you were. Your past isn't a liability, it's your authority. You don't owe anyone a defense. You can simply say, I've been exploring this more honestly, and I'm finding there's something real here. I wasn't willing to see it before. This is the practical guidance. So how do you actually do it? Let me tell you what I wish someone had told me. First, get this straight. Whether you tell people or not isn't the point of your faith. Your relationship with God doesn't depend on public declaration. It's not about performance or proving anything to anyone. This is between you and Him. But here's what I also learned. The closer you grow with God, the more you'll realize that this world and the people in it are temporary. And if you truly believe and feel the comfort He brings, your desire to share it will eventually overcome the fear. Not because you suddenly become brave, but because what you found becomes too real to keep hidden forever. But in the meantime, while you're building that courage, start with the people who've earned your vulnerability. Not everyone deserves to hear your story. Some will mock it, or minimize it, or use it against you, and that is not because your faith is weak, it's because they're not safe. Start with the one person you know will actually listen without judgment. Test the waters. See what it feels like to say it out loud, and then expand from there, slowly. You don't owe everyone an announcement. You don't need to post about it on social media or make some grand statement. You can simply start living differently and let people ask questions when they notice the change. Because here's the real truth. Telling people isn't a one-time event. It's a process. And you don't have to tell everyone at once. You don't have to have all your theological arguments prepared for every doubt resolved. You can simply start living as someone who believes in God. And let that shape how you show up in the world. When faith comes up naturally in conversation, don't hide it. When someone makes a dismissive joke about religion, you don't have to laugh along anymore. You can just be quiet. That's a start. You can acknowledge the complexity. Yeah, I used to think that too. I'm working through it differently now. That's honest, and that's enough. The goal isn't to convince anyone. It's not to win arguments or prove that you're still intelligent. The goal is to stop pretending you're someone you're not. And that happens gradually, conversation by conversation, decision by decision, and moment by moment. Some days you'll feel confident, some days the shame will try to pull you back, and that's normal. This isn't about arriving at perfect boldness, it's about taking the next honest step. Look, I don't have it all figured out. I'm still learning how to do this myself. I still feel the embarrassment, but I'm choosing to take the next step, even when it's uncomfortable. And if you're in that place, caught between belief and fear, I hope this helps you take your next step too. This is what this podcast is about. Real questions, real struggles, real conversations about what it actually looks like to come to faith when everything in you resists it. If this resonates with you, or if you have your own experience navigating this, I'd love to hear about it. Let's keep this conversation going. Thank you for listening. I'm Brogan, and this is Faith in Progress.